Any corrections, additions, or deletions to this evening's agenda?
A motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
A motion to skip the minutes.
We'll add them to next council. Presentation of the bills to approve. Bills came to the total.
Is it still 57?
I think there was a written add-on on the last page.
Yeah, but the one I want
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay. Only one I wanted to point out was for Destiny Struck. She ran over a nail. So she's national program for tires. So just so everyone's aware. So. You can't repair patrol car tires. You have to replace them.
Oh, I should be. Because that's still
makes-
pursuit rated, isn't it?
Mhm.
That makes sense.
A motion to pay the bills for $57,191.43.
Support. Motion's been made and seconded to pay the bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Clinton County Commissioner Nicole is not going to be here. Destiny has a report from her, and then I think there's something in your packet for everyone to read as well. On the back of the manager's report, I believe is where it was. It's like an overview, so.
Oh, got it.
Let me put my glasses on real quick.
So, Granny.
All right, Commissioner Fickus sent an email for a county update. Hello all, I hope you are having a great summer. Here's an update for Clinton County. Primary election will be August 4th. Early voting begins July 25th at DeWitt Charter Township Hall and Bingham Township Hall. See attached schedule. Separate tax limitation proposal is on the ballot to reauthorize the constitutional millage for the county. See attached. Ways and Means HR Committee, June 25th. Again, those are all on YouTube, so everybody knows what's going on in the county. Adoption of county taxable values reported to Department of Treasury. Opioid Settlement Advisory Steering Committee appointment recommendations. First meeting will be in August. Walking with Talent consultant to fill planner and deputy administrator positions. The county does have a few positions that are open. Again, she puts meeting packets and video link and agendas all on the county website. Broadband task force meeting. Robin grant funded construction will complete this summer, connecting high-speed internet to over 3,200 locations. BEAD funded construction will begin later this year, connecting another 3,000 plus locations. Board of Commissioners meeting, June 30th, final state equalization report. Approving rezoning requests to realign county park properties. Broadband update. Once again, if there are any questions, concerns, or needs, please let me know. Thank you for serving the public. What I added to everybody's packet, and then if anybody wants this in the audience, you can get it from me or obviously Commissioner Fickus. Tax allocation sheet for our county, it's very important. It breaks down the numbers. Obviously, the Clinton County operational millage is going back to 5.8, which will give them $270,000 some dollars. $271,603 will be recovered annually by resetting the millage rate for the county to the previous voter approved level of 5.8. So. Big win for Clinton County. It's a big deal. I am proud to serve in Clinton County, that's for sure. That's a report. I do want to add to that real quick though. Animal control is looking at, if anybody has read anything about Clinton County Animal Control, they have responded the last month to several dog bites here in Elsie, several dog at-large issues. Again, it's one of those things, you have to catch them while they're doing it. What I tell the residents, if they do have a dog at large, video it. Animal control, we had a situation on West Elm. You know, you ask, you tell, or you make. We talked to the residents, and then they got a video. Animal control followed up. We found out that the dogs weren't licensed. So they're a huge resource in Clinton County. They do a fantastic job, and they do have a big county to cover. But they are important and they are needed. I mean, we had a dog bite during Dairy Festival that Officer Helms handled. You know, a dog got out of the residence and bit a gentleman walking down the road. Animal control actually followed up with that for us. So they're important and I appreciate them being here. That's all I got.
Okay. Hero Park update, Miss Dorothy.
Well, there's all new flags except for the American flag. And I called today to find out how much that cost. It'll cost $110 to replace it. I was hoping maybe somebody in the community would step up and want to donate that $110. We'll see. It's not life or death that it'd be done, but it is ragged around the edges.
It's too ragged.
And there's 94 bricks been ordered and they picked 94 and everything. We're just waiting to pick them up. And hopefully that will be before the next meeting. And get 'em. And then it'll be all done. So.
And if anybody wants to donate, just reach out to the office and we'll get you with Dorothy. Okay.
I think the Masons are taking action tonight to replace all your flags.
Well, we did. We replaced all the flags.
Did they pay for them?
No,
Oh,
we
they-
found them.
Okay.
We had them once in stock.
I think they're gonna vote.
But the American one needs to be replaced.
I think they're gonna take action.
And I called to find out, and it was 110.
Good. Well, maybe it'll work out.
That's what I was hoping.
Good. Or if they're willing to donate, maybe we could keep another set.
It's
in
nice to
back.
have a set ahead, of course. And there's some that are left over, 2 or 3. John Shipley put them up for us. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you. Park update, Mr. Ed White.
As of July 4th, I got the tennis net installed and the pickleball net installed. I'm working 70 hours a week, but I'm hoping that sometime mid-August I can get the other court painted. And after that, it's up to everybody else to keep it clean. I did put a bin down there that I recycled. It's a little beat up, but it's very heavy duty. Kelsey made a sign on there. We started putting the balls in there for people to donate. I've gone down there twice and picked up the balls and thrown them back in there. People
At least they're still there.
Me as well.
At least they're still there.
Kids will scatter them, but at least they're there and somebody's using them.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the future, people will be a little more mindful, put the stuff back, and can keep a nice resource for the community.
Well, good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Village business update under president. Only thing I have for an update, we did reach out to the village attorney. We did have a conversation with him about the fire board agreement or the fire authority agreement. They still have not got us articles or bylaws. He suggested we do not do anything until then. So,
Why is that? Why can't we have something contingent on?
because they can change it at any time at that point.
I mean, that we don't have to, I mean, it's, my thought is why not have it? ready
Because we'd
go?
have to pay for it twice. Because if they come back with, if we write an agreement for A, B, and C, and they want us to do, let's say, you know, something completely different, then we have to send it back and get it rewrote again. So, he strongly recommended not doing anything until we hear from them and find out that they are a true authority. So, because even on the state website for their 910,000, it's the Elsie Fire Department. I'm an authority, so. I don't want to bait and switch, so. And that last agreement that they did submit to us was, I mean, you guys all agreed, I mean, it's not good, so. The whole thing needs to be tore down. So what I propose is when we hear from them, that we put together a workshop, we invite Duplain, and if Duplain's willing to come, we all sit down and we have a workshop. And we make it public and we do it, so. That's all I got.
I'll motion to accept the village business update.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Clerk Treasurer Report.
So the village taxes are mailed out on July 1st and they are due on September 14th. The direct link to pay the taxes through BSNA online is now on the right side of the LC.org website menu. Utility bills will be calculated and mailed out in the beginning of August for the service period of June 1st to July 31st. Utility bills are due 21 days after the billing date, which is the date that the utility bills are processed and mailed out. I get a lot of questions of why they're so frequent or why they fluctuate so much. It's always 21 days after Chris and I process them. Financial Controller Steve Adair has made utility billing adjustments, putting the 2025 delinquent utility bills onto resident and village taxes this summer. 10 meter upgrade appointments have been made in the past month with approximately 98 left to do. There are 9 pavilion rentals reservations logged for 2026, and there's still no water at Pavilion 3. There's all.
How hard is it gonna get to get those last 98 houses?
It's pretty hard.
Is that gonna leave us in a bind with the state?
Yes, so I have a meeting with Treasury on Thursday. The issue is we are still waiting on 20% of that grant because we need to wait until all the water meters are installed. So according to our ordinance, people need to get in line. You know, we need to make these appointments and.
Is there any way to make that mandatory?
Yes, it is in our ordinances.
It is in our ordinance.
That we have.
You know, obviously, Chris is gonna talk about our new hire, but if we have to adjust those appointments, because we've had a lot of people call and they're like, we work till 5 o'clock. DPW's gone at 3. We're gonna have to make adjustments and try to work around our resident schedule. But 20% of that grant, it's a little bit of change.
It's a potluck.
We need to make sure that it happens.
And it's only 98 residents at this point. We need to just knock it out. If they're gonna comply anyways.
Yeah. I think we can get there.
Good job.
I move to approve the clerk treasurer report.
Support.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Police report.
The Elsie Police Department conducted 11 traffic stops this month, resulting in 6 citations. Complaints have increased by 17 calls for service from last month, with a total of 61 calls in the village of Elsie. A total of 189 hours were worked at the Elsie Police Department. Police activity for this month of June consisted of traffic enforcement, motor carrier enforcement, several checks/suspicious, multiple driving violations, 1 animal bite complaint, and several ordinance violations, and of course, community policing. Patrol Car 82 was serviced for minor electrical repairs due to a cross connection within the battery plate and fuse box area. It is back in service with no issues. The Elsie Police Department is scheduled for a lien audit to take place in late August, early September. Lien audits are required by the state of Michigan by all law enforcement agencies countywide, and Clinton County has been chosen for July/August and September. Lien services do a very thorough job in making sure each agency follows strict laws and regulations within the law enforcement information network that we rely on every day to keep both officers and the public safe. Code and zoning enforcement has continued. 4 certified letters have been sent out this month, and things are definitely moving in the right direction. As always, looking forward to another great month here in Elsie.
Jump day didn't hurt my good.
Did not hurt.
110 yards of trash.
According to my manager's report, 128 yards of junk was removed from the village of Elsie on junk day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
So,
Well, that's good.
People took advantage of it, that's exactly what we want.
I make a motion to accept the police report.
Motion been made and seconded to approve the Police report, all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Managers report.
Managers report. Well, I've been working diligently with Steve Adair with our financial audit and auditors. As I discussed, I do have a meeting with Treasury on Thursday. I look forward to that meeting every month. Discussed large item pickup from Granger. That's good that they give us that feedback. It's very nice of them to do that. Couldn't believe that number. Miller Legacy, as of yesterday, we received all of the new fire hydrants, 27 of them. It was nice to watch the boys in action with their Bobcat and the fork truck, whatever the heck they are, to move the fire hydrants, because they literally, the semi came in, dropped the fire hydrants off, and that was it. They were just chilling in the parking lot. So it was nice to actually move them and store them until Miller Legacy can get over and put those in. They wanted to do it actually they wanted to do it next week, but some people in the village of Elsie need a vacation. So I think that would be a horrible idea for them to be in town putting fire hydrants in town while people are on vacation. So they are going to do this the last week of August. So they think they can bust it out within 2 to 3 weeks, which obviously kind of helps us with the cash flow too. So I think they will do a very good job. They are going to drop off some dirt for the facade of people's yards. So they asked where they could put that. So if you guys see a big clump of dirt behind Heroes Park, just know what it's for. I have some really good news about the Elsie school project. Fingers crossed, we need some good news. And MEDC and LEAP have both advised that hopefully on Thursday, Ken Harris and the Elsie school project will be approved for their funding. Of course, everybody was waiting on the state budget to be, accepted and approved. This is what we need. I'm sick of driving by it, and quite frankly, it still is a blight building. So it's easy to tell residents to clean up their place, but then when you look at the school and it's the same thing, it's kind of hypocritical, So I'm glad we need that, and hopefully he does put a laundromat in there, because we need a laundromat here in Elsie. I do too. Again, the park is a big deal. It's a nice area. I know Kelsey and Ed White are working on some things at the park, and I always kind of get nervous when they bring these great ideas to me, because I look at the money and I'm like, oh, please. But they have some really good ideas. We're going to get into that next month, into the nitty-gritty. They have some fundraisers that they want to do for more things at the park. We do have a tile issue, we're assuming, down in the park. Yes, sir.
I'm just going to point out the stuff that we've talked over, every idea we have, no cost to the village, no cost to taxpayers, we'll take care of it, and all the money goes back to the park.
Yes.
Correct.
That's a big deal.
Thank you.
Once again, for anybody watching.
Thank you, Mr. White. The water issue at the park is a concern, and Chris is trying to keep up with everything, so we will talk about that, but we think that it's like a tile or something that's broken.
We talked about that in the past.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna have to bring in a company to help us with that. So I'm working on a few grants for the park in all my spare time, grants and more grants. So I heard this saying the other day, and I'm going to steal it from Grand Ledge after they put in that huge APA park. That was put in by businesses that fundraised for that, and also the community enhancement grant. That community enhancement grant was cashed, taken out of the budget for the state. And I'm going to do everything that I can do with other communities to try to, show that these small communities need something like that. But this is what they said, and I said, you know what, this makes a lot of sense. Let's show what can happen when a community comes together to invest in our families and the future. That's what we've been doing for 2 years, whether people want to realize it or not. And we're not gonna change and we get frustrated with complaints. But I'm here to tell you, I signed up for this and I'm not gonna stop until it's done. And that comes to the Elsie water. The water here has been an issue for 100 years. And I really didn't want to talk about it tonight, and I'm not going out on a tangent, but I will tell you this, that we were not approved for the DWRS state revolving fund. We were not approved for that. And there's two reasons for that, folks, and this is what it is. Obviously, our scoring was way too low. It was at 24 points. The state revolving fund is a point system, and there's a lot of communities that apply for that every year for water infrastructure needs and issues. We were at 24 points. When we look back at this project in October, when we decided to do this DWSRF, we were looking at the median household income, the MHI. And they claim that they get that information from state treasury, but I don't believe that, because I've talked to a lot of people from there as well. So we were high, and we did not qualify for the overburdened section, which was 25 points, and that was loan forgiveness. Now, loan forgiveness on $9 million is a lot of money. It's significant, but it would have been something to that, $9 million. And another issue that we had was they kept us on the list because they were assuming that we would get some type of appropriation money. And you're right, I am butthurt that we didn't get it, and I will say that to the day I die probably, because it is personal to me. But because we didn't get any types of grants with appropriations or any other EPA, a lot of those grants have been restricted since after COVID, like everything else, so they're very hard to get. We don't have PFAS issues. People complain about our water, but at the end of the day, we're still passing all of our drinking quality reports that are, standard and have to, by law, be in our lobby. So because we're passing our tests, it kind of hurts us in the long run because we're not a Flint. So it's a balancing act with everything else. The project plan that we paid for, that was $26,000, that is valid and good for 4 years. We will continue to work on appropriations. Obviously, sometimes elections get kind of squirrely when it comes to people. Makes everybody nervous, but I will reach out to anybody that I need to because the water is a huge concern, and that's what Elsie's needed for a long time. And everything else comes in front of it, and it can't come in front of it anymore. Because honestly, Elsie can't sustain what's going to happen with the water, the sewer. It's a huge issue. So we, council, the community, the politicians, we're going to try to work on it. We will apply for the DWSRF in April, like we're supposed to again. The other issue is we could go through the USDA, like Elaine Benema talked about when she was here discussing it from FE Engineering. The issue with that is we still owe $900 and some thousand on a sewer lagoon. And that won't be paid off for 40 more years. So we're kind of limited on what we do with USDA. So I didn't want to talk about it tonight. I told myself I wasn't going to talk about it tonight. But I found out today, and I want everybody to hear it from me and me only. We'll get there. We're just not going to get there right now. So, McCurney. McCurney, it will be here patching the roads. We had to put out the deposit of, it's in the check run, I think it was $3,500. There's a lack of communication there. So Mr. Ed White got the quote from McCurney for the walking trail path. We put a deposit down on the asphalt, but we didn't know we were supposed to put $23,000 down as a deposit for the walking trail path, and I found that out today. So Chris and I were talking to Travis, who lives just outside of Elsie here, and we're like, yeah, we're excited, this thing's gonna happen right now. Well, I did some follow-up, and then I actually called McCurney today too. So that is not in your check run. We probably will be issuing that check before the next council meeting, so just so you guys are aware, that deposit needs to be paid because we want this project to go through Elsie before. Yes, sir.
Now, once again, could you explain to the people where that money came from and how it didn't come out of village funds and village budgets,
Yes.
so that they know that it's not going to impact their financial status?
I want to cut tax, I don't want to increase it. But that is state revenue shared funding, and that money gets held back to a certain extent when your financial audits aren't on time. So our financial audit will be on time. Our money is coming in with the shared revenue, and Act 51 requires the village of Elsie and every municipality to get rid of 10% or to use 10% of that Act 51 money. Now, as everybody recalls, we discussed holding back on repairing the major issues with the roads because $200,000 is not going to get us anything, truthfully. And with the water project that we all so want here desperately, there's no sense in doing it twice. But with the Act 51 money, we could allocate that and use that for sidewalks and the walking path. And we decided to use it as a walking path because there's a lot of people that use that. And hopefully this year with our fancy front loader that we have, we can plow that. So I know that Don Passmore always plowed that for us, and we appreciate that. But I think maybe this year we can do it. Right, Chris?
I've done it in the past with a truck.
With the truck?
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, maybe we'll do that
You just
too.
beat me there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, it's a competition.
So yes, so that money needed to be spent, 10%, that's what we're paying for it. That's how we're paying for it, rather. What else is on my list? Larry Melvin. I wanted to bring up Larry Melvin, and this is why. Larry Melvin, every day, is out somewhere with his weed eaters spray,
Yeah.
and he sprays by the Elsie Market. And yesterday, I noticed that he was spraying the parking lot by Heroes Park, and I'm like, man, this guy never stops. So I just want to kudos to Larry Melvin. His weed, you know, he's always kills the weeds in the park, and he makes sure that the park looks prestige. And sometimes when I want him to cut it, he tells me no because it'll die. And then between him and Kelsey and Dorothy, they always make sure that all the flowers are watered. So again, it takes a village, it takes a team. So thank you, Larry. Appreciate you. While I'm talking about Heroes Park, Jim Highland. Good old Jim Highland. So Jim Highland has expressed concerns about purchasing 2 more statues for Heroes Park. The reason those statues are so important is because if we get those 2 statues, it will complete the park as far as all of the affiliations of the armed forces and emergency service, right? Yes. So he's willing to pay for 1. He wanted to try to get donations for the other one. I told him that probably won't happen because everybody's really tight with donations and they only go so far. But I think I got him into paying for both of them. But he just cannot grasp the concept that the village of Elsie can't pay for the gas to get there. We got to drive to Wisconsin. If we have them shipped in, last time we checked into it, it was over $4,000 if I recall. It's a lot of money. So I'm asking maybe if anybody knows anybody or any committee or organization that would be willing to spend a little bit of change to go to Wisconsin and pick up a statue. I know, or 2.
It's a beautiful trip, I made it.
Yeah, Mark's made
Hey,
it.
Mark, was that an offer?
Pays for fuel.
And honestly, we wouldn't have that park, truthfully, if it wasn't for Jim Highland. He donated a lot of money. We found out that we paid a lot of money for that park too. But a lot of people have donated a lot of money, including the Lions Club. We appreciate you too. But I think that Mr. Highland, that is his vision to complete the park, and his health is failing. So, and he straight up told me that after the Memorial Day ceremony. He said, Destiny, I don't know if I'm going to make it much longer, and I really need these statues to complete this park. And I think we need to try to find somebody to do that. It's just, Elsie can't write the check for the fuel and the hotels and the dinners like we used to. So,
Has the one statue been ordered yet?
They're both quick. So I talked to him too. He said that it's a quick turnaround for him. If he placed the phone call, they'd be ready within just a couple of
They
weeks.
probably have them done already, they just need to be painted. They have a ton of them already.
And when I talked to him, so he came down to my house and I talked to him too. And he said that he'd be willing to pay for both of them if we could figure a way to pick them up.
Oh, they're heavy.
They're heavy.
That
You
short-
need an open wheel trailer too because they load them with a boom. So
That short little fire statue spotted my 3/4 ton truck. They're heavy.
That's fine.
So, but even if we could get, even if we get 2 people that could go, you know what I mean? 2 people, 2 trucks, 2 small trailers, or 1 big truck, 1 big trailer. So I thought about the new trailer, but it's too big. So it's big. So, but
Is there such a thing as a too big a trailer?
I guess so.
They probably both fit in the back of the Keegan's truck.
probably,
Is that a snake?
well, it's got a flatbed. Well, kind of a flatbed. But it's got the heavier tires. So, yeah. But yeah, he came to my house, said the same thing, that he'd like us to try to figure a way, so we'll implore to anybody who has any ideas.
Well, the last time I went, Corey gave me his personal debit card. So.
Yeah.
We're gonna need that.
That's all it's gonna take?
on accident.
Well, the Firefighters Association bought one and they had an account through Journey and I was the treasurer, so I had the card.
Did it look the
It
same as
was
his personal?
right next to my personal card and there you go, Mark. Well, one had a lot more money than the other. So,
Halfway through the trip, you realized?
yeah, he was like halfway there and I got in my wallet and I was like, I called him right away, Mark, you got the wrong card.
Can we have that error again?
Yeah.
He's got the new Duramax, so.
Last but not least, Dairy Festival, it was great.
It's fantastic.
I gotta tell you, I was not keen on them changing the date, but I think it was great. I think it really brought a lot more people to Elsie. I remember looking at Craig Green and Darcy Green, and I'm like, I haven't seen people in Elsie like this since I've been here, 5 years ago. So it was
Been a long
great.
time since there's been that, you know.
It was great.
And vendors.
So,
I liked having the vendor down the middle too. It made it look
I
fuller.
thought that was sharp.
Yeah.
It just made it look like there were more vendors that way. I don't know if there actually were or not, but.
And thanks to the fire department for washing the streets for us.
yes, absolutely. Speaking of washing the streets, so, there's been concerns that there's oil spots on Main Street where the carnies had their equipment. That is being addressed with the Dairy Festival Committee, and they are handling it. They will scrub the streets. Can't wait to see that, but they will do that. So if anybody hears that concern, it's been addressed with Dairy Festival, and they are taking care of it. I just want to thank the Dairy Festival. I mean, those cows, people were looking for those cows. I want one of those cows, those big ones. I want to put it like an Elsie in the lobby. But that was a great hit. It really was. And I think we should keep it in June. So,
I think the weather was fantastic. It was a lot
I
better
think
than
it's so different.
July. It's amazing how much 3 weeks makes, but.
and I know a lot of planning goes into that. Everybody at the end of it is all, where everybody's frustrated, and it's a lot. So 2 days, just for the village, it's a lot. But then when you think about the Dairy Festival, actually planning it and getting it together, that's a lot as well. So thank you, Dairy Festival Committee. We appreciate you very much.
I'll motion to accept the manager's report.
Support. Motion's been
Wait.
made.
As always, looking for another great month.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. DPW report.
Okay, getting back to, touching back on the water meters, we did 12 this month.
12.
People called me and I scheduled my guys to come in on Saturday and they've done a couple. And they tell me they're not home. I said, well, it's a weekend, we'll pick a day on the weekend, we'll come in and do it. So we've done that. So the options there, they just gotta call. The ones that are, you know, we had one house, we had 3 appointments and they hadn't been there every time. So, and there is an ordinance that we can take care of that, we just didn't want to go that far.
Right.
I'm trying to do it a nice way through site. So, the water in the park, there's a broken line on the east side of Pavilion 2. That's why there's half the park don't have water. We had nothing to dig it with to fix it right now. So I borrowed a mini excavator, which the guy never charged us for. Tried to fix it at Pavilion 3. That's when we found it the weekend before that. So then we ran out of time in Terry Bustle. The drain, that's another story. I think it collapsed. We drive on State Street, ready to cross on the drain, there's a big old pothole. It runs almost the whole width of the road. So I'm thinking that
Underground tile collapse.
I thought about digging that up when
We get a mini.
that mini excavator arrives, which should be this month, by the way. I was told last month. He thought maybe last month, and I got back a hold of him. He said, well, it still says this month. Well, that was last month, but it must mean this month. So. Whatever. It'll show up, I guess. We'll move this long without it. So that's why I think the drain problem is it's somewhere plugged. I talked to Mike Smith, who was here years ago. He says there's so much sludge from the creamery that he's never found where it's actually plugged, but he tried with it too way back then. So that's all it's plugged. So, and like she said, Miller Legacy will be here, and I unloaded the trailer this time. But I was in a hurry because I had real water in my office, so I hurried up and unloaded it and went back to my office. So, they're pretty. A lot prettier than what we got. Dale's been helping us, trying to keep up with the cemetery. I had me and Deacon were out weed whacking the cemetery this morning till about 10:30. I think we finally came in. I told him, go kill yourself. It's too hot. So he's in, but I do have a new guy. He's picking up real quick. A lot better than the last one. So I think it'll work. We just gotta be here. And if he wasn't here today, I'd take his wife to the hospital, so that's take care of family too. Other than that, I think that's it. Yeah, good.
Thank you for all you guys do.
Now we give it a whirl.
I'll make a motion to approve the DPW report.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. What's the new guy's name?
Art
Art?
Lawrence and
Chesney?
Yeah.
no, bad.
Thank you.
That's where he's from.
You're close.
Action steps. We need to schedule an ordinance committee meeting again. It was actually brought to our attention that there's some that we need to address yesterday, so I think Sam had a couple that he found too that I was kind of surprised on, so. I said the same thing. It didn't. They just took it, put perfume on it, and rolled it out.
Let's say, kick that dang can right down the road.
Yep.
Kind of like a soccer ball.
Oh.
I don't think it rolled as easy as a soccer ball, though.
So I'll be out of town until mid next week, we'll say. So If possible, maybe the week of the 27th.
August?
Yeah, but-
Oh, yeah, no.
So let's,
So July, yes.
yeah, it was July. Let's just gonna push it the first week of
I thought it was
August.
for August.
You wanna do August? I don't wanna push it that far home.
Because you want for the board meeting.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
If we can do the first week of August, we might have some stuff ready to go.
Fifth? Wait, no, I can't do it the fifth.
Fifth is a Wednesday.
What
yeah.
about like July 7th week? Should be good. I'm not school, but don't.
I think she's gonna,
Yeah, I am gone.
July?
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's what I thought.
yeah, he's
Okay.
gonna be August.
That's what I thought.
So what about the 6th?
Yeah, that's fine.
But that's
Yeah.
Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Joe,
Yeah. 6,
your schedule?
huh?
Your schedule, blank paper?
Oh, no.
Oh, no,
Are you
no.
gonna need a wake-up call for that?
Is August 6th?
Gunsmoke's on, I'll have you know. And then Matlock.
He's got a pencil.
You're talking the 6th,
6, what time?
2 o'clock in the afternoon?
So-
We can't do that, we work.
Yeah. 7?
7?
Isn't that Murder, She Wrote?
August.
Poor guy.
Can you do 7 or you want to do earlier?
I want to
It's
do
like
it.
4 quarter.
Okay, we can do it earlier.
How early can Sam
Wanna
do
like
it?
6?
I am in town at 5:10 every day.
This is a discussion.
The later the better for me, because hard to tell what time I get back.
What time do
Do you
you
wanna
get
say
back?
6? 6:30?
I'll do 6:30.
Split the difference. 6:30.
6:30?
6:30.
I mean, August 6th at 6 sounds good too.
August 6, 6:30.
6, but now I gotta add the 3rd.
Okay. Public comment?
Paperwork run for office is due a week from today, 4 o'clock. So if you need paperwork and you're running for office, please pick it up. To let you know, there are surveillance cameras here, and we will have signs up that tell you you're on camera. Not voice, just surveillance. Does not go to my phone.
That means you don't have to type anymore. You can just play it back.
No, it
Get a
doesn't.
transcript.
No
No
audio,
voice.
No voice.
No voice.
It doesn't go to my phone. No, absolutely not. And then Elsie UMC is requesting that Church Street be closed off on the first Tuesday of the month, August 4th, for National Night Out. It is election day, but we are inviting the fire department, the police department, and people to participate in that. You can meet our new pastor if you wish, and Jack and Tess will be performing. So, but we do need the street closed off about 3 o'clock.
Every year, no.
On the
Every
4th.
year. On the 4th, every year. I mean, we were questionable because I tend to be one of the younger members of the church, and Mary and I both have to work elections, so we're gonna be back and forth, and 8 o'clock when it's done, we're sequestered. So, but we've got enough volunteers that have said that they will help with that, so. There'll be free food and all the things we usually do, and music. And by then, the playground should be repainted. Painting company here in Elsie has volunteered to paint it. We're just buying the paint. So that'll be in memory of Sarah Levy, her memorial fund. So we will get that repainted.
Do we need a vote to close that or just?
And then just a quick culinary ambulance update. We sat at it was a short meeting
It was very short. I think.
to discuss how is culinary ambulance going to be financed? What are all the municipalities and stakeholders willing to do? There are limits, let's be honest. It is not an open checkbook. And most of you know that Duplain Township has a millage request, and it's just to bring it up to the level it was 10 years ago. Because after Elsie ambulance closed, the officials decided to cut it back to 1.5 mils instead of 2.5. We increased it 2 years ago, but the cost of EMS continues to go up. And basically, Duplain Township said, we will cap out at $31 per capita. I mean, there have been a lot of numbers thrown around, up to $45 per capita. And, I mean, to go for that kind of a millage, this political climate does not, as much as people want community-based EMS, there are limits, and limits to what we can ask our community.
And we're finding a number very quick.
Yeah.
And to touch on that, speaking on the millage aspect of it, I had a few people come to me as well. There seems to be a little bit of confusion from the last meeting that we had, assuming that what the fire department was wanting to charge the village was a millage. That is not a millage. That is essentially a bill from the fire department for the village to pay. The millage aspect comes from Duplain Township, and I want to remind people that it is very, very important. If you like your EMS, your fire department, your ambulance service, and you want them to be here, the cheapest route, unfortunately, is to increase the millage. Because for the fire department, for example, if the millage doesn't get increased and we can't afford to pay for the fire department, we would have to outsource to Obid or Ashley, which would be more expensive with longer wait times. So it is important to increase that millage. I personally support the millage. I can't speak for anybody else, but I support increasing the millage. I do not support paying the fire department $30,000 from the village.
And I can't go either way on support, I can just provide information. And what I'm telling you is that, again, everyone wants local EMS, especially coming from the ambulance service. But again, we don't have an unlimited budget, and if the millage doesn't pass, and we look at general fund monies, we have such a commitment down at that dam right now. And the longer it takes for them to complete it, though we have $3+ million, the price of that project continues to go up. And we're trying to keep the cost down. By the way, the permit was filed today. Finally, permitting, the clock has started, but we are pretty certain that all the entities are not going to be happy with the final design. And that will delay the project even more. So we're trying to get that done, and they are relocating mussels. 1,500 mussels were relocated last week. Of those, five were snuffbox. The rest have been tattooed, identified, and relocated.
So 5 or 1,500.
See, they're in danger. There are few. And my grandson went down there and he looked, he says, I can't tell one from the other. I said, read my book. I have the book to identify them.
With the ambulance service, they did do a little bit of research on trying to find alternate ways to fund that. And there were some pretty interesting ways that other people in the country are funding. One thing I didn't realize was most places outside of Michigan are most ambulance services are county-based. They're county-wide. And one of the things that they do specifically that stuck out to me was increasing the sales tax on everything by 1%. And that 1% of sales tax goes to the EMS, which is, personally, I feel a fantastic way. I mean, if you think about it, you go to Walmart and you spend $100, you're going to spend $101 extra to pay for your ambulance or your fire service.
And like in Florida,
For the county, for that county.
in Florida, each township or each county has they can fluctuate their own sales tax. So in Levy County, it's 7%, but they add 2 more, and they can.
Wait a minute, there's a Levy County?
I know.
It's your whole county down there.
That's wild.
It is, and I live down there in Levy County. It just is what it is.
That's
They
cool.
named it after her.
Yeah, we go with that.
That was all.
But they assess an additional 2%. I
Wow.
mean, they don't pay property, they charge me a lot for property taxes, I'm not a resident, but their residents don't pay very much, but they pay in other ways, much other, many other ways.
Well, Livingston County, I mean, look at their county EMS. You know, they have a training facility, I've attended many police administration classes there, it's like the state of the art. There's a lot of counties that do it.
I just thought it was interesting, I never even knew you could do that, increase the sales tax like that.
But I don't know if we can
1%.
in most
And I don't know if we
Yeah, I
can
don't know if
either.
by
But
state.
it was
At some
something
point,
to
it's
look
gonna
at.
reach a point where we're outside the box, like we've talked in the past. They're gonna have to.
But
Because
people-
You can't
if this millage doesn't pass, then what?
Yeah.
I mean, that sustains for what, 8 months to a year, maybe? Then
So
what?
if it does not pass, we still have the current millage until 2020, and we could go again. It would be nice if it would just pass and we could move on.
Yeah. So I completely agree, so.
But when you start talking county, like ambulance, then it's people giving up some control, and doesn't mean people want to do that. But
Right.
they're going to have to start looking beyond where we are right now. They really do.
Yep.
And I've been involved in EMS for a few decades.
Well, and that's the thing is, I think that's the wrong way to look at it. People do look at it like they're giving up control, and it's not necessarily giving up control. It's sharing what you have, as opposed to giving up what you have. It's everybody having a common voice. It's no different than this board. You know, you have somebody from everywhere bringing different opinions and different ideas and different thoughts. You succeed much better that way.
And you have to look at the way you're operating. It's a business.
Well, it has to
And,
be.
we know.
and you have to re-look, and a lot of people don't want to live with him. But I'm just being very honest.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And it's frustrating.
And a lot of those, some municipalities, they still operate on a good old voice system, so. And that is quickly going away.
Very.
So, because everything is becoming digital, so everything
Because
is
there ain't no more good old boys around.
trends.
That's the problem.
Yeah, right.
It is, you've just got to learn the rest of it. And I'm the one who should be stuck in the old ways. And when I'm one of the most progressive, that is frightening. Just saying.
We got another word for that one, stuff.
Thank you.
Okay, any other public comment?
I got something.
Yes, sir.
What are you gonna do about these, old fire hydrants that are on the ground?
That is a valid question.
I believe we're going to sell them on an auction site to the highest bidder, like we did with the street signs. Did we ever do that with the street signs, or was that a?
That was just like, I think they were like 10 or 15 bucks a piece.
Yeah. I
In
think
the office
and-
Yeah, but there's, I think, still some up in the loft, isn't there, at the old DPW? Yeah.
We can use them for the floors in the DPW trucks.
True.
We haven't, they asked me, and I told them and talked about what we were doing.
I think there's a lot of history there, they're very old, 100 years old, really.
Well, and some of them, honestly, some of that style being they're so old and so obsolete, they're actually surprisingly worth a lot of money. So,
If you're interested in getting one done, let me know. I'll find out the auction site and see what we can do about it.
Yeah. We'll make sure you get one done.
Yeah.
We just can't give it away.
Not even to you, Downey.
Sadly, we wish.
I think I installed it.
Probably.
He's probably gonna just put it.
He was here with the last one, let's put it.
Oh my gosh.
I dedicated my time for 33 years to part of it.
Having a fire hydrant to show it would be nice.
So would be.
Just as long as we don't try to hook to it if it's in your front yard.
right. Put it in the back.
We'll have one hydrant as long as it doesn't work.
He just wants
We're
some,
always gonna have
he
one.
just wants some for Charlie Brown to pee on.
That's right.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Or
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried.